Hey everyone, my name is Mars, like the planet, and this is Housewarming. Me and my partner have just purchased our very first home, so if you're interested in design, homemaking, or figuring it all out, make sure you subscribe. Today we are going to be doing a good old-fashioned houseplant tour. Now these videos have been super popular on my channel, so you know I'm not going to disappoint in showing you every single plant in my care today. I'm going to be going through each room, telling you what plants are in my care, how I take care of them, and what window they are facing, whether it's an east facing window, a north facing window, or a west facing window. Now, all of the plants that I have, well, most of all of the plants that I have are super easy to care for, and I will delineate which ones are kind of divas or kind of tough if you're just starting out. But all of these plants are great to have if you're a novice or you're just starting out. I do not like finicky plants at all. I do not like to baby plants. I'm not trying to rock them to sleep or anything like that. I like super easy plants that you can find at Walmart or Home Depot or Lowe's that aren't going to break the bank. So let's get into the tour. Starting off downstairs in my downstairs bedroom, this is an east facing window. I have this shelf directly next to the window. So at the very top, I have these three pothos plants. They're in a little trio. Normally, I will take cuttings from my bigger pothos plants and just put them in here. These are super easy to take care of. They wilt when they need water. And I just got this stand from Goodwill. I think it's actually a candle holder, but it's perfect for some smaller pots. Down here, I have this Maranta or a prayer plant. I'm not sure of the name, so I will put it on the screen. But I got it for my birthday in April, and it is known to be a pretty finicky plant to take care of. It needs a lot of moisture and a lot of humidity. So I have it in this bright area as well as having a small humidifier next to it. And it seems to be pretty happy because it is producing another leaf right here in the back. And so I really love the color of it. It has these beautiful velvety purple leaves on the back. If you can feel it, it's super, super soft. I've never felt a plant like this before. I really like the feeling of it. It's super, super soft and velvety. So this is a prayer plant. So basically what that means is that the leaves are down during the day, and then at night they kind of fold up a little bit like prayer hands. So I haven't had this one for that long, but I'm trying my luck at it to see if I can take care of. Like I said, it has a new leaf coming in, so I'm assuming that it's happy. On the next shelf, I have a trio of plants that I've had for quite some time. This is another green pothos plant. Once again, one of the easiest plants to take care of. I then have a Philodendron Brazil. It has these beautiful neon and dark green leaves. I love the mix of colors. It is one of my favorite types of philodendrons. I put it on this gold hoop that I actually got from the Dollar Tree. It was actually a basket, and I just took the ring off of the top and stuck that in. If you are having trouble with your vining plants, remember that they are vining plants. They like to hold on to things. So once you give them something to hold on to, they will definitely grow bigger leaves. Next to this, I have a POTHOS N JOY. I really love the leaves on here. I love the multicolor, the cream, the dark green, and then that sagey color. You can see some of the cream is more of a yellow color. And so it really pops. I love these two next to each other. This one, she doesn't fuss at all. You can see there is a new leaf coming in right here. She doesn't fuss. She normally just lives out in this corner and hangs out. When she needs water, she normally just wilts a little bit, but she's super happy in this corner. Down below, the last one on this shelf, I have another green philodendron. This one is a cutting I've had for a really long time, and it wasn't growing until I gave it this stake, and now you can see that there is a new leaf coming out of the top. So this one, once again, not fussy because I have it in a ceramic pot. It doesn't need to be watered as much. So she just sits here. She's looking cute. She's looking fabulous. Next to my shelf, I have the infamous fiddle leaf fig. And I was super scared to get one because I know how hard they are to take care of. Once again, this is an east-facing window, so it gets really bright morning light. I also make sure that I water it whenever the soil is dry. They don't like super wet soil, but they really don't like to dry out. You can see that this one is super happy. It has another leaf coming in on the top, so I'm really glad that I'm not killing it or anything like that. But I got this one for my birthday in April, and it's already sprouted maybe 3 or 4 leaves, and so it's really, really happy. I water this one maybe twice a week, and then I turn it just so each leaf can get a lot of sunlight. But I'm super happy that I am not killing this fiddle leaf fig, so wish me luck. The second to last plant I have in this room is a very large philodendron. It is a normal green philodendron. I got this one at Lowe's, and it is trailing down absolutely beautifully. I have it hooked up to the ceiling, and this one does not need water very often. Normally when it needs water, it will droop its leaves and start to wilt, and then I will know that it needs water. But this one is absolutely beautiful. I love how happy it is in this window. It's living its best life in this east-facing window, so I'm glad it's happy too. The last plant that I have, let's move a little bit. The last plant that I have is on this lamp right here. This is a brand new lamp that we just got from Target, so I wanted to zhuzh it up a bit. I have another philodendron in a pot, so you can see it has the same growth habit as the one I just showed you. And I've had this philodendron for a very, very long time, probably 2 years or so. And for a while it wasn't growing because it had thrips, but I cut it all back and she seems to be happy because she's trailing down. One of my favorite things is a trailing plant. I just love how you can use them to style any room. Just popping it on a shelf makes it look 10 times better. I love philodendrons, you can clearly see because I have so many of them right next to pothos. These are super easy to take care of. If you're tired of pothos plants, you may want to consider getting a philodendron. They come in all different types of colors. If you're interested in them, and they're super easy to pick up at a Home Depot or a Lowe's. They don't need a lot of water and they are not finicky at all. Okay, let's head into the dining room. This is a west-facing window, so it gets bright afternoon sunlight. I love the leaf size of them. You can see that these are really, really big leaves. She loves being in this window. Once again, I don't have to water her a lot. She just hangs out on our table. So let's head into our living room because that's where I have the most plants. So when you first walk into our living room, I just moved this snake plant that used to be in our bedroom. I moved it down here. I had to do a little trading around because a plant that was here ended up needing more light than I was giving it. You will see that upstairs in our room. But for now, I have this snake plant here. I've had this for quite some years. Snake plants are once again one of those super easy plants that you can take care of. They don't need a lot of light. They don't need a lot of water. I absolutely love this one. She's super easy. She doesn't fuss. They do grow very, very slowly because they don't get a lot of light or water. If you're looking for a dark corner to fill with a plant, this one is super easy. They sell them at Walmart for like 12 bucks and they already come super, super big. So moving from the snake plant, over here on this stool that I got from Goodwill, we have my Monstera plant. If you remember, I had a very young Monstera that ended up getting thrips, and I was super, super sad by that. I was so unhappy when it ended up dying, but I got this Monstera, which is next to our fish tank, from Home Depot, and I am super happy with the size that I got. Take a shot every time I say super. I am sorry. I can't think of any other word right now to describe these plants. But it is just putting out a brand new leaf. Look how beautiful she is. Let me see if the camera will focus, girl. Look how beautiful she is. It is unfurling. I love the fenestrations in the leaves. And fenestrations are basically these, are they fenestrations? I think it's fenestrations. I've been saying that word wrong forever. I've always said fenestrations with a V, but I think it's fenestrations with an F. Anyways, but I love the slits in the leaves, if you want to call them. These are super beautiful. It has just started to unfurl. This was the last leaf that opened for me. When Monsteras are baby plants, they just have these heart-shaped leaves. You can see how they kind of resemble a philodendron. And when they get older and more mature, they end up having these wide, big leaves that have fenestrations. I keep saying fenestrations. That have fenestrations in the leaves or cuts in the leaves. And soon, once it gets more mature, they'll end up having these slits within the leaves like this. So a Monstera is easy to take care of. It can get pretty big. This one I do not have staked, but I will end up staking it in the future. Monsteras are native to the tropics. So they like latching on to the understory of plants and growing up them. When we went on our vacation to the Bahamas, they had these huge, gigantic monsteras everywhere. They can do in low light situations or medium light situations. I have this one in a north facing window and it's doing absolutely fine. I have it in a really big terracotta pot, so I only water it maybe every week and a half. Next to this monstera right here in front of this north facing window, I have another pothos plant. This is a moonlight pothos. I will put the actual name on the screen because I cannot remember it. But this is a silver moonlight and I love the color of these leaves. Look how shiny they are. It is so easy to take care of. It is once again a super easy plant to take care of. If you are tired of looking at pothos plants, I know everyone recommends pothos plants and snake plants for easy plants, but this one is super easy to take care of. I actually found it at Walmart and it is trailing out. It is a viner, just like all the pothos and philodendron plants. It has a new leaf coming in at the bottom as well as over here, but I love the silver color. Let me go around to this side so you can see actually how it looks in the light. But look how beautiful this color is. This silver color is not easy to find in all of your houseplants, but you can see that the soil is kind of dry and it's not, you know, it's not wilting or anything like that. I normally just, I normally water this plant once a week, just like all of my other plants. And if it's doing fine, I'll probably stretch it to 2 weeks, but it lives in front of this north facing window. It is about 2 feet away from the window and it is loving its life. I absolutely love this one. This one is super easy, no fuss, and it grows super fast. So moving on to our television, I have this other pothos. This is a Cebu blue pothos. And look at these leaves. I found this one at Walmart. Look how long and cylindrical these leaves are. It has almost a blue sheen to it. That's why it's called a Cebu blue pothos, but it has almost a grayish, bluish, silvery sheen to it. And when I bought it, it was probably up to here, but you can see it is trailing down. It is in front of a east facing window and a north facing window, and it is super vocal. So if you're looking for a plant that you need to know exactly when it's time to water it, it will wilt down, the leaves will kind of droop down, and it will perk right back up when you water it. This is another easy plant to take care of. I do not like hard plants to take care of. I don't have time to be babying you. I don't have time to be changing your water and stuff like that. I need something that is vocal, that's gonna survive, that's just, you know, not fussy or anything like that. So this Cebu blue pothos is one that I was looking out for. And when I saw it at Walmart, I just had to have it. It was about $20 when I first found it, and it is growing fantastically. So over here, we have this small east facing window, as well as a north facing window right here. And I have this little clump of plants. This one, she's looking a little sad. If you remember in my other houseplant video, I was super happy because I found this plant. I will put the name on the screen because, you know, they're evading me at the moment. But I was super happy to find this plant at the plant store because it was only like $10. And I don't know, I'm glad that I didn't spend a lot of money on it. But all of the leaves have fallen off. I read that this plant, I think it's called a Song of India. I read that this plant only likes filtered water instead of tap water. And immediately I was like, red flag. I do not like giving special treatment to plants. I'm sorry. I would rather throw all my plants in a bathtub and water them all at once. But one by one, all of the leaves started coming off. You can see all of this dead, and I really want to get rid of it, but honestly, it has never produced a leaf for me. I'm kind of sad because I really, really like the color on it. I love the different light green and dark green veining on the leaves, but I read that these plants were super easy to take care of, but clearly not. I don't know what I was doing wrong. Down here, I have 2 rubber trees. These plants, or rubber plants, these plants are one of my favorites that I was looking out for a really long time. I found them at a farmer's market for a few dollars. This is a rubber tree that is variegated, and this one is the standard burgundy rubber tree. You can see, oh my goodness, you can see that it is producing a leaf for me. That is a rare sight. These rubber trees do not grow very fast. So if you're looking for fast growing plants, do not get a rubber tree. Once again, rubber plants grow very, very slowly, and they do need a lot of light. I do not water them very often, so maybe I do need to put them outside and they might be a little happier. Back here, I have my Monstera adansonii. Although it says Monstera in the name, you can see that its growth habit is completely different from my Monstera deliciosa. But this is one of my favorite plants. I got this plant a couple of years ago and I ended up just going crazy, ripping it apart to repot it into so many different pots. And I ended up killing it and I was just so sad. So I ended up buying another one. And like I said before, these plants like to vine, so I wanted to give it something to climb on, and it just took off. You can see all of the new leaves that it's growing, and it's growing another leaf right here. Let me let it focus. It's growing another leaf right here, but it's absolutely just one of my favorites. I love the fenestrations in the leaves, which are the holes in the leaves. This is another one that likes a lot of light. So I have it near this east facing window and she's just living her life. I found this stake that it's growing on, or this trellis that it's growing on, at Walmart. I threw it on there and she's super ready to go. I've heard also that adansonii is like a lot of moisture, but I have it grouped with these other plants, so I think that it's doing pretty good. I do not miss my plants or anything like that, or try to create extra humidity with a pebble tray. Once again, like I told you, I do not like finicky plants, so if you're not cut out for it, then you just gotta go. But she seems to be living her life. On the other side of the fireplace, near this north facing window, I have the diva of all divas. If you remember my other plant tour, I showed you this one and it had 7 leaves on it. This is an alocasia poly, or African mask, and she's just back down to 1 leaf. These are known to go into dormancy over the winter months, and that's a little sad one. She was hanging on the entire summer. I'm sorry, she was hanging on the entire winter and she went dormant, and then finally this new leaf just popped up a couple of weeks ago. So hopefully it rebounds, hopefully it comes back. This one is known to have spider mites. If you look closely, you will start to see, this one thankfully does not have spider mites, but you can see little tiny flecks of white on it and little tiny flecks of white on the back. Those are spider mites, and basically they're not harmful, but what they do is they end up sucking all of the sap and the nutrients out of the leaves, and it eventually dies. So I have to spray all of mine and wipe them down with some neem oil, and that seems to help them. These like somewhat moist soil, so you can see that the soil is pretty moist, but I'm hoping that some new plants will grow out of them. This is one of the divas, but I have just kept on trucking on with her because I love her so much. We have a love-hate relationship. The last plant in my living room is my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. I was so excited when I found this one at the farmer's market. It was only $10 and I was like jumping for joy because I was like, do you realize what type of plant that you have on your hands? So this one, when I first bought it, it was just hanging out on the ground. I was like, girl, let's get you out of here. They don't know how to treat you. So I got this stake for it because it is another vining plant. If you are tired of pothos plants or philodendrons, a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma is one of those plants that will grow and grow and grow. I swear every other week there is a new leaf coming out. Look how beautiful she is. So I have it growing on this stake right here. This is a piece of wood that I just found out in my shed. I stuck it in and I tacked it to it. This is another one that will not actually grow into the wood like some. You can see there is a vine coming out right here, but that's about the most it will do. You can see all of these others. They'll just kind of have the short vines that will come out, but it won't really like wrap around or grow or anything like that. Like a Monstera has really, really long roots that'll come out. But the Rhaphidophora is one of my favorites. I absolutely love her. You can see it's even outgrowing the stake. When I first got it, it was way down here. So I'm gonna need to get a new stake sometime soon. But that is all of my plants downstairs. Now let's go upstairs. Upstairs in my loft area, this is a north-facing window. I have a ZZ plant. These are one of the easier plants to take care of. I'm not sure why it has some dead leaves in it. I don't know if she's just not happy. These leaves feel really, really moist, so maybe she's getting too much water. I don't know. I don't water her that much. But a ZZ plant is a super easy plant to take care of. They're one of the top 3 that people always say to buy. This one, I don't know. She's kind of faltering a little bit. So please comment below if you know what's wrong. I don't know why it has so many dead leaves. I think maybe it's too much water, too much light. I don't know. I really don't worry about her too much. because she always tends to bounce back. But now moving on, this is the piece de resistance. This is my favorite part of the entire house. This is my plant wall. I just posted a video about putting this plant wall together. I am absolutely in love with it. If you do not know, this planter box was already installed in our house, and it is my favorite part of the house. You can see our living room down there, but I have pothos plants, I have trailing plants, I have all of my favorite things that just get to vine down. You can see how far down they go. It looks absolutely lovely. I have 3 north-facing windows over here, so they're living their best life. Let's go through each of them. First, on the end, I have this neon pothos. I keep her down here because if she gets too much light, she will honestly get a bunch of yellow leaves. But I repotted her. She seems to be doing happy. You can see we have a bunch of new leaves coming out. Next, I have this pothos that is called Snow Queen. No, I'm sorry. This is a pothos called Marble Queen. I got this one from the store. Look how long these vines are. She is living her best life. I love this variegation in the leaves, the different colors. I love how spotted it is and speckled it is. Once again, if you're tired of the normal green pothos like this one, consider getting a neon pothos, a Snow Queen pothos, a POTHOS N JOY, a Marble Queen pothos, a Cebu blue pothos like the one down there. There are so many different type of pothos that you can explore and look at if you're just tired of this one. Now, I'm not trying to shine away from this one. This one is just as tried and true. This is another regular pothos right here. This is one that I just picked up, so she's not trailing so much. She looks like she needs a little bit of water. You can see the leaves are drooping just a little bit, so I might water her after this. This is an arrowhead plant or a syngonium podophyllum. This is another one that can actually start to trail down. You can see she's heading over that way, but I ended up bringing her up here because I'm going to let her trail down. These are also called butterfly plants. They come in all different types of colors. I just have the regular green color. These are always producing new leaves. You can see right in here that there is a new leaf coming up right there, looking beautiful. Moving on, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different pothos right here. I'm not gonna go over them. These are pothos that I've picked up at different stages in my life. You can see this one is trailing all the way down. This one's trailing all the way down. And these are 2 new ones that I just picked up. Once again, you can see the leaves are a little folded. So that means that this one needs water. You can see this one right here. That's a telltale sign that these need water. If you wanna look at this one, see these are super erect. Oh, I hate to use that word. That was gross. These are super flat. They're not bending or anything like that. But look at this one. See how folded that is and curled up that is? That means it needs water. So I hope you enjoy seeing this. I absolutely love this part of my house. Every time people come over and they come to my living room, they just look up and see all of these plants trailing down. So I love, 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 love this part of my house. Okay, let's move on. We have 2 more rooms to get to. Coming in my bedroom, we have a couple of plants. This is an east-facing window, so it gets bright, bright, bright sunlight in the morning. I have this beautiful burgundy rubber tree that I just moved up here this morning. It is on a plant stand. She was not getting a lot of light downstairs. You can see the leaves are kind of folded up. So I was like, she needs some more light. So I brought her up to this east-facing window, and so I hope that she's going to really, really enjoy it. I bought this plant almost this big. You can see how big the trunk is on this one. I can actually call it a trunk now compared to the ones that I had downstairs. Look how big and thick this trunk is. You can see why they are called rubber trees now. Look at the roots on that thing. They are absolutely so big and healthy. So I water this one not too often because it's such a big plant. I don't want to drown it, but this one has not produced a new leaf for me. So I know that it probably needs some more sunlight. And like I said, rubber trees go very, very slowly. This is where a new leaf would come out, but she's just chilling for the time being. So hopefully some more light will keep her happy. Next door to our rubber tree, I have another Philodendron Brazil. She is looking absolutely marvelous. I love the trailing vines. I love how she trails down. I could honestly get a trellis for her to have her grow up, but I just love the vining look once again. All of my plants, I love the vining look. Philodendron Brazils are one of my favorite philodendrons, like I said, downstairs because of the coloring. Look how beautiful this is. And like I said, this is another one. You can tell that it probably needs a little bit of water. These leaves aren't looking too great, but I will probably go another couple of days before I decide to water her. She's living her best life on this shelf. And let's move on to the last 2 plants. Oh, I'm sorry, last 3 plants. Don't want to neglect this one over here. This is actually not potted up. These are just some snake plant cuttings. If you didn't know, you can propagate plants in water. Propagation just means you take a cutting of a plant, stick it in some water, and roots will grow. Look how beautiful and healthy these roots are down here. I need to change out the water because it's getting a little gross. I just have these in here for some decoration. I don't plan to pot them up anytime soon, but you can see how great these roots are looking. Next door to her on this shelf, I have a peperomia. I think it's called a peperomia jelly is the name that I saw at the store, but I will put the official name on the screen. She has a new leaf coming out right here. These ones are very, very slow growers, so I just don't really pay her any mind. I have this stake in here. They are not vining plants at all. This is just for decorative reasons, but these kind of fold up a little bit when they need water. They do not like to be watered a lot because these are more like succulent leaves. If you feel them, they're very, very thick. So they do not like to be watered very often, but I do like the variegation in the leaves. I love the cream color matched with the dark green. That sage green is really, really beautiful. The last plant in here is quite a new plant to me. I just created it, honestly, and you're probably like, what are you talking about? I took a bunch of cuttings of our neon pothos in the planter box and I just planted them up. I took some cuttings, I put them in soil, I popped them in soil, and I water them probably every week. This is another one that could use some water. You can see that I'm at the end of my watering schedule. I will probably water all of my plants after I get done with this video, but this is another beautiful plant that I just want you to spread around. If you have one plant, you can honestly create 1,000 plants out of it just by taking cuttings. If you're wondering how to propagate a plant, either by putting it in soil or putting it in water, you can see right in here is a node. This right here is where the leaves and the roots come out. So what you want to do is you want to take a cutting right here, right below the node, and you can plant up this section of the plant. You can either put it in water or you can put it in soil and roots will grow out of here. Here is another node. They're just little swollen bumps right along the leaves. This is where they vine out. This is another good example right here. Let me see if I can get you. So look, you can see there are already some pieces of roots growing out. So if you wanted to make a new plant, you could just cut right here, and roots would just start to grow. So that is all of the plants in our bedroom in this east-facing window. Let's go into the other bedroom. We have one more. In the very last bedroom, which is our game room, sorry about the echo, I just have a little snake plant. Once again, snake plants are super easy to take care of. This is a west-facing window. We don't pay her any mind over here. She just kind of chills. You can see that the soil is super, super dry back here, so she does need some watering a little bit, but snake plants can definitely handle it, and they can handle low light situations. But you can see the soil is slowly pulling away from the side of the pot, which means that it needs water. This actually started off as some cuttings in the same glass of water that I just showed you earlier. I popped them in the soil and she's doing great. I have a couple of more cuttings to show you downstairs just to show you what propagations look like. And then that is the end of the tour. So the very last plants I have in my house, ooh, look how pretty our flowers look outside. Anyways, the very last house plants I have in our house are these cuttings. These are just some green onions, those are not plants. But you can see I took some cuttings of a pothos, and you can see right here, I took a cutting, and right where that node is, some roots started to come out. I just popped it in some water and it deals with itself. I just make sure I change the water out every single week and it is good to go. So once the roots get long like this, you can actually pop them up in soil, but I'm gonna let this one go a little bit more because I'm not ready to pot it up yet. But you can see right where that node is, those roots came out. So those are all of the plants I have on my window. This is a pothos cutting, green onions. This is a neon pothos cutting that I have just in this root beer bottle. And then I have another pothos cutting right here. All right, so that does it for all of the houseplants in my care. I know it was a lot, and I promise you probably next week I'm gonna pick up 5 more, but I do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about any of the plants that I showed today, or you just wanna know more, or you wanna see more, leave a comment down below and let me know. What are some of the favorite plants that you saw today that you're interested in, or that you have in your care? I want to thank you so much for watching this video. It truly means a lot to me that you took the time to watch this video all the way through. I post new videos every single Wednesday, so I will see you guys next week. Bye!